Good evening, everybody. It is another Monday. It is MENcounter Monday, and I am so excited to welcome you all here this evening. As always, tell somebody we are live. Let them know that it is time to jump into this great conversation that we are having as we are preparing for Convergence 2026, and it is going to be a phenomenal time. So I'm going to say it 100 times throughout the evening, but we want to make sure that you're in the room. So I am so honored to be here tonight with my little brother. Now everybody for the most part has been little, but this is the youngin of the bunch. Pastor Lewis Pollard is here with us tonight, and I'm so excited. Pastor Pollard, would you just take a moment and greet the people and say hey and let them know that we are here, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
What's up, everybody? I am excited to be here with my big sis, Pastor Denisha Bonner, as we are getting ready for the month of October. This is more than just a conversation between two friends. This is more than a conversation than just between two colleagues. This is a bit of a teaser to get all of the men who are tuned in today, whether you're tuned in live or whether you're going to be watching the replay, to join us in the city of Columbus, Ohio, October 22nd through the 24th. So I need everybody. I mean, everybody that's tuned in now, do me a favor, press that share button. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and press the share copy link. Put that in the group text with the brothers, with the men. Throw it in the men's group at your church. Put it in that group me, in that Slack notification, however y'all communicate over there, because we're getting ready to have an amazing conversation. And I think everybody connected to you is going to be able to benefit from it.
I'm so excited that you're here tonight, Lewis. Again, I was thinking we go way, 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 way back. Almost, gosh, 20 years. Like 2006, 2005, something like that, right?
So somewhere around there,
Oh, you
the good
know,
Lord
man
brought
of
us together.
God. We give, oh, man of God. So, okay, this is not on the list. This is not on the questions, but you were at the first MENcounter. Tell the people listening what that experience was like. Tell them a little bit about what we experienced the first go round. And actually, you're one of the people that helped us name this. Tell them what you experienced and what you got from MENcounter 2024.
Absolutely. 2024 was great. We were in, was it Schenectady? Am I saying it right?
Close enough. Albany, for people who don't
Albany.
know where that's at.
I remember seeing that name and like, where am I at, Lord? What is going on
Mhm,
here? But
mhm.
it was a powerful time, great time with men of God. What I enjoyed most about it was this was not the men's conference at your church where it's a little bit of everybody, but the preaching or the sessions are tailored for the men. This was a time where it was strictly for the men. Not only was it strictly for the men, I want to commend you and your amazing team on creating a space for men to be vulnerable, to be open, and to have some tough conversations. Men, I want you all to know this. The way that she has it set up, and I'm not sure about Convergence. I'm a part of the planning committee, so I should know this. But I do know at MENcounter, the ladies were amazing. They served. They were phenomenal helps, but they stayed outside. They
Mhm.
did not come into the sessions. They did not come into the room. I think they snuck in during the evening service. But when we got into the sessions and we were talking, real manhood stuff and just being a little bit more open and vulnerable, they were not present. And that was not because of any type of hierarchy. That was because the intentionality behind Pastor Denisha was to create that space where we don't come and just have a mask on and act like everything's together, but we can be open, we can be honest, we can be transparent, and we can receive wisdom, knowledge, understanding from other men who know what it's like to be in some of the same positions that we were.
That's right. That's right. And it will be very similar. And part of the reason it's going to be similar is because She Slays is going to be happening simultaneously as MENcounter. And I'm not even gonna hold you. Some of the women are really upset about that reality that they're not gonna be able to be where the men are. But we are having that same intentionality to make sure that the men have a safe space to do some hard work, to do some good work, to do some really deep soul searching and receiving. So it's going to be the same thing. The men will be in a different room, the women will be in a different room until we come together for that evening worship. So, yeah, it's going to be very intentionally set up the same way.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. So, real quick, before we dive into our conversations, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are live. Again, this is your moment. Tag somebody, tell somebody, hey, jump in, tag your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, your nephews, your sons. Say, hey, you want to hear this conversation? This is a little bit about what you're going to get in October at MENcounter 2026. Is that the year Jesus? Yes, 2026. That's where we will be. So, Pastor Lewis, tell me a little bit about when you hear the title for our conference this year, the theme this year is the Kingsman. What does it mean to you to be the Kingsman? What comes to your heart, comes to your spirit when you think about that title or this theme of the Kingsman? We might have a little bit of technical difficulty here, but while we're waiting for him to get back connected, this is a great time to go to denishabonner.org/convergence and register today. The registration is only $150, and it's going to be 3 power pack days of wonderful fellowship, community, sharing, impartation. So right now, go to denishabonner.org/convergence and register today. Pastor Pollard, you back with us?
Listen, me and the devil had a tussle.
But come on, tell the rest of the story. Who won?
I won. I'm back. I'm back.
So I was asking you, the theme of this year's conference is the Kingsmen. When you think about that, what comes to your heart? What do you want to encourage men about? What speaks to you about being the Kingsman? What does that mean to you?
I love that. I think it speaks to several things. The first being ownership.
Okay.
That we are not just men, but we are the king's men. Now, that has weight, that has relevance, that has power when you fully understand who the king is. So carrying the title of kingsmen lets us know who we represent. It lets us know the authority that we walk in. And I even like to think of it as almost like a prime minister, the individual who is speaking, who is talking, who is negotiating, who is functioning on behalf of said country. And because we are the king's men and we are part of the kingdom of God, everything that we do should reflect the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Of course, we know who we're talking about. Jesus is his name. What the song say? Jesus, Jesus. Jesus is his name. Yesterday, today, forevermore. I'm
you
the churchy one
already.
I'm the churchy one of the bunch. But I think that when we do that, it really, really is an exciting time. And we're coming together in unity to grow and to learn.
All right. So let's go a little bit deeper, right? As you are going to be teaching on being unleashed, that you are the whole thing behind MENcounter has got this lion theme, this charge, this being God's man, being unleashed to do what he has called us to do. So let me ask, where do you see the difference between, well, let me say it this way. What do you think causes people to be more reserved or held back when they maybe have this passion or they have something that they're called to, but they are reserved or they might feel stuck? What do you think is at the root of that?
Fear.
Okay.
I think fear is at the root of that. Fear on many levels. Fear of, you know what, if I really step out and attempt to do this, the fear of failure, the fear of not accomplishing said goal, the fear of support. I'm confident in myself. I think I can do it. But will I have the support of other individuals as well? And then I think another thing is just lack of understanding. We love to throw out the scripture that talks about my people perish for lack of knowledge, but I'm convinced that that's just not so much the knowledge of who he is. It's not just intellect, but sometimes we forfeit our rights as king's men when we don't have a proper understanding of who we are and the power that lies within us. So when it comes about being unleashed, that speaks to going back to what we talked about earlier, knowing who the king is. That should push and that should really fuel the authority and the excitement and the confidence that we have within us. And then understanding that all things work together, right? All things work together for the good. So I'm going to take a step of faith. I'm going to try. I'm going to make an attempt, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens after that, because there has to be some element of faith in there somewhere.
Yeah.
For we to understand without faith, it's impossible to please him. But I think really that fear of failure is what keeps a lot of individuals kind of tamed and inside. I'm going to throw this out there as well. I think comparison. Comparison can be a big piece as well. Not understanding that I'm not called to do it like you. And there should be some type of competitive nature in every man. So maybe my assignment is not as big or as influential as somebody else. And because of that, maybe the fear of, man, I may do this and I may not have the response as somebody else, can keep people kind of bound as well.
Is there a personal experience you've ever had with something like that?
I've never been intimidated. I've always had. Next question, please. No, absolutely. I'm from a very, very small town called Oberlin, Ohio. The town is so small, they fought McDonald's coming to the town because they just wanted mom and pop shops. Oh yeah, when McDonald's came to Oberlin, it was a celebration. It was Juneteenth. I'm playing. But
it's the turtles crossing the street.
It's a very, very small town, and because of that, as I began to travel and to do ministry, there was a bit of fear because I compared myself a lot to other people, other individuals. And a lot of times, even you laugh at me, we had an experience in Cincinnati when I was preaching, and I wanted to be like this other preacher so bad. So bad. I think every young preacher went through this phase. I think every young preacher went through I want to be Jamal Bryant phase. So I had the short tie, I had the breathing, and Pastor Bryant is a beast. He's a monster. He's one of the greatest orators I think that we have. But I was so much trying to be like him that I was not being my authentic self. So definitely comparison can be a stumbling block. Because y'all laughed at me at the end of that message. You really did.
Oh man, yeah. We can't even go there. And we really need our other brother, Pastor Dorian, here to make this conversation complete. But there's something that you're saying that I want to dig a little deeper to it, right? If we talk about comparison and even intimidation, sometimes that keeps men from coming together in community, right? Talk a little bit about how community can actually be an antidote to that comparison, to that fear, to that intimidation, instead of it being a reason why people won't move forward.
Yeah, I think the old preacher said the blessed part of fellowship is figuring out you're not the only fellow in the ship. So I think that community and transparency will allow you to realize, oh, I'm not the only person that has struggled or is struggling with this. Overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So in doing so and being connected to individuals who are either going through or who have gone through, you get to hear stories of victory. You get to hear stories of, don't you ever do this. Don't you ever do that. You get to see individuals that are living in a space and a grace that you may aspire to be in and realize, oh, there's some story here. They had to deal with and go through and hurdle over, jump over, climb over some things to get there. And when you realize, oh, wow, what I'm going through is not uncommon. What I'm going through is not um, something that should keep me in isolation, because isolation is a dangerous thing.
Come on, let's talk about isolation.
Yeah. But because of that, I think that's the power of fellowship and being a part of community.
Yeah. And so let's flash back a little bit. Think back to last MENcounter. What were some of the moments where you saw that happening? Because there's a moment that really stands out for me very strongly, where it was just beautiful. In one of those moments when we snuck in, making sure time was moving on, where I saw people actually stepping out of their individual moments and actually reaching out and connecting. Do you remember those moments, or did you have any history in seeing that?
If I'm honest, the moment that sticks out most to me, and I think this is one of the benefits and why everybody tuned in should do what you can to be with us October 22nd through 24th in Columbus. I remember a lot of those side conversations. So you probably remember something that's not, but I remember arriving early. We went to some random restaurant downtown.
The Nest.
It was me. It was one of the men who was leading worship. It was Jordan, and it was one other. And we just had a kind of a, man, it's my testimony is I made it here. Oh, really? Yeah, man, this was going on, that was going on. Life is life, and this is happening. And I'm just happy to be here with other men. So I remember that lunch moment particularly. I also remember just several side conversations. I think that's the beauty of MENcounter, is when you're surrounded by men, even when you have that time of learning workshops, you also have those one-off and those side conversations, and the individuals who you have invited to speak and to pour out are very personable. You have Pastor Dorian Cast. You had him on week 1. You have Pastor Knight on week 2. Neither of them are as cool as I am, as amazing as I am, but you know, they are.
Y'all can tell he's the baby of the bunch, right?
They are, all jokes aside, they are men that I am unashamed to say I look up to both of them. And they are, excuse me, they are going to be there, and they're approachable, they're relatable, and I'm excited about that piece as well. The main part of last year will probably be that closing prayer. That will forever be etched in my heart. That closing prayer.
That was the moment that I was holding, especially as a person who we need to move on time. We need to move here, and I'm like, something's happening right now, and we can't even worry about the next thing, because just the way the Lord started moving and watching the brothers minister to each other and give and receive was just so beautiful to watch. And I really hope that I want to invite more people into that space. And even as you were referring to Apostle James and Pastor Dorian, I'm so excited to help other people get connected to voices like that, because you guys are life-changing voices. Others that haven't been on here yet, Minister Andre, Pastor Devon, it's just going to be such a powerful time. And again, a lot of the ladies keep saying how they want to sneak in and hear and see what is being said over there, but we got to hold the line here. So I want to take a moment and just get a little deeper in getting to know you a little bit, letting the people understand a little bit more about who will be speaking and what Pastor Pollard is going to be talking about. So some off the cuff questions. When you think about your life, what kind of impact do you hope you're making in the earth?
Wow, that's a good question. What type of, say that again, what type of impact?
What type of impact do you hope to be making in the earth?
Wow, that's a good question. It's going to be so cliche, but I really want to make an impact that you can love God, you can love your family, and you can be a success. I am far from a success. I'm striving to get there, but I just try to be authentic, be real, and really just serving God pays off. It really does. It really does. So the impact, I guess, I hope I can make is that there's benefits there's benefits to loving God, being in relationship with God, and loving your family.
Now, I think that many people would say, including your wife who's watching, that you are not as far from a success as you think you are. Now,
go ahead.
Now, so I think that gives us an opportunity to go a little deeper into what do we identify as a success? Because I think that sometimes men and people, but definitely men, can have a different or maybe a definition of success that might not meet God's definition of success.
Mm-hmm.
So, for a man, what does success look like? What do you think success looks like? What is a an attainable and a pursuable definition of success?
I think one of the problems that many men have, and that I may be a victim of, is replaying the past
Mm-hmm.
and thinking that you're always in a season of catch up.
Mm,
So I feel like I am currently in a season to catch up.
okay.
Financially, relationally, I'm catching up to try to get to where I feel like I should be. The funny thing about that is, whenever you get there, you're gonna give yourself a new benchmark, a new goal. Once you
Right.
make 100,000, then you need, a quarter mil. Once you need a quarter mil, then you need a half mil. Once you do your half mil, then you want to hold. So I feel like it's probably a continual pursuit, a continual hunt.
Mhm.
But success, really, as I would at least attempt to define it, is being able to take care of everybody that is assigned to you and fulfilling the assignment that God has in your life. Taking care of everybody that's connected to me and assigned to me, and then fulfilling the assignment that God has for my life.
Mhm. How can men understand and find what their assignment is? Because I can imagine there might be some people listening now and people who will come in October who are in that space of trying to find out and trying to identify what is the assignment God has for them. How can they find that?
Several. One, communion with God. Of course, with that, let's just start there with prayer. Two, understanding your word.
Mhm.
Three, always having the heart and the posture of a servant.
Mhm.
And then four, really tapping into your passions. What are those things that frustrate you? What are those things that excite you? And then leaning into that. There are um, certain things that may arise, that may pop up, that I may think is wrong, but my passion, my heart, my frustration may not be to it to the degree of somebody else. Why? Because that's their assignment.
Mhm.
Um, Even as relates to financial or integrity or civil rights or education or the prisons, like you can go down a list of all of these things we're mindful of, we're understanding of, we have a heart for. But there's somebody else that, I have a heart for prison reform. I have a heart for people who are dealing with injustices. I have a heart for fatherhood. So those things will also lean into or direct you to your purpose and assignment as well.
Mhm. So let's turn our hearts a little bit towards
Oh,
uh
gee.
what is one word that you think men today need to hear? Or a word, maybe not just one word. What is one idea or concept that you think men today need to hear and really grasp?
Discipline.
Okay. Okay. Say more about that.
Discipline. I think one of the things that we talked about, or we're going to talk about, was strength. And
Mm-hmm.
how do we define strength? And I was just looking at that really as like the ability to control,
Mm-hmm.
the strength, the ability to handle. And I think as men, that's oftentimes shown and reflected on what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But what you can do can make you famous for the right reason, but what you can't resist can make you famous for the wrong reason.
Say
So
wait. Say
yeah,
that again. That's too good. Say it
what
again.
you can do will make you famous for the right reason. What you can't resist will make you famous for the wrong reason. And the older I get, I don't have conversations with men about what they can do. I have more and more conversations about what they need to restrain and stop and not do. Because when it comes to right and wrong, do's and don'ts, there's really not anything I could teach a grown man about do's and don'ts. I'm sure some kind of nuances there, but even deep down, there is even a moral compass in the majority of us as far as right and wrong, do's and don'ts. But it's really when you come down to the discipline and doing what you don't want to do, and then not doing what you do want to do, that really makes you a man that the devil can't mess with. I feel the Holy Ghost saying, when you can develop discipline, when you can develop being surrounded by whatever you're surrounded by, and still being focused, being streamlined, being focused on your assignment, on what it is God's called you to do. That's a disciplined man is a very dangerous man, because they're hard to take off of focus. They're hard to get off of assignment. They're hard to tempt. They're hard to trip up. When you are disciplined, and I know when it comes to men, we talk about our gifting and our talent and our money. All those things speak to what we can do. But you become dangerous when you have the discipline not to do as well. Not just to do, but when you develop the discipline not to do, you a bad man. You a bad man.
And I think the community agrees. I see some fire in the chest. That is so good. And I think sometimes discipline becomes almost like a cuss word to people. Like it's like a bad word. People don't want to talk about that skill or that character trait of discipline, because I feel like we live in a world where anything goes. Do what you want to do, live how you want to live. I see so many posts of people saying things like, if it makes you happy, do it. And I always get so angry because I'm like, no, that's part of the problem. We're doing what makes us happy and then trying to deal with the consequences later. So that's such a powerful and a strong word that you are already sharing tonight about the ability to discipline ourselves, making us dangerous. Now, let's tie that into your session. You're going to be talking about being unleashed. How can God use a disciplined man? Where can God take a disciplined man? Because you said you'd be dangerous, but talk a little bit about more what that looks like in the hand of God when we have certain disciplines.
Right. So not only are you dangerous, you're also trusted. When you're disciplined, you're now trusted by God to move and to operate in certain arenas where he knows you're not going to embarrass him, where he knows that you're going to fulfill the assignment. And what the world needs now is disciplined men. I was laughing because, of course, we need our preachers. I'm a preacher. I love to preach. I love it. I was watching an interview by several influencers, and they were talking about all these things. And there was a name that came up that spoke to God, Jesus, marriage, family, and they were ranting and raving about this man. Kept on stage. And they were ranting and raving on him because they're like, every time we see him, he's with his wife. Every time we see him, he's doing this, he's doing that. And to be able to flow and function in the realm that he is, that takes a different level of discipline, because the influencers who are watching you are you gonna be another Drewski skit? Are you gonna be another what kind of what we assume all church boys are? And to see them rant and rave about his marriage, about his character, we love to beat him up every other week on Twitter or whatever. But I think that discipline allows you to be trusted to go into territories that many aren't or can't even function and flow in.
Something that I'm considering here around discipline and community is how that, even if it's not a skill you have, it's a skill you can learn, and it being taught by other people, right? Specifically, as we think about men coming together in community, the value of people who have something showing you how to be what you don't necessarily have, right? So maybe you didn't have this military father that taught you to make up your bed and taught you to always press your pants and always spit sign your shoes. Like, it's not lost, because if you get around other men who have these skills, who have these things, one of our mentors, Mr. Gaines, used to always say, if you see something in someone that you want, go after it.
Yep.
Right. And so the power of being in community is it allows you to see something that maybe you never saw before. And part of the seeing it means, oh, I can actually have that because it's real. It's not just a myth. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of community and men helping other men become disciplined. As a person who's been blessed to walk with you through your life, I can see the impact of other men on your life and their discipline. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%. I think that's this I don't want to say this half, but this portion of my life, discipline has really been one of the things that my mentors have just drilled in on me, whether it's with success at the dealership, discipline with your money, whether it's success in the church, discipline in your word and your prayer, being a wise steward, whether it's success in corporate America or those other realms, being disciplined as you're moving and functioning and just dealing with other people. So discipline is the word of the season for me, and I'm trying to learn it. I'm doing my best to learn it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're getting close to our 30-minute mark. We're going to do a little bit of a lightning round here, okay?
Okay.
So, what is one habit that changed your life?
One talent. Say that again.
One habit that changed your life.
You gonna laugh? Asking questions.
I'm not gonna laugh.
Asking questions has made me a better leader in the church. It helped me sell more cars. It's made me a better husband, a better father. We have a mutual friend who asks 10 questions per one question you ask him. But it's funny because I catch myself doing it now, and I think of him like this is you tripping. But that would be I'm sorry, I'm responding to this church stuff. And all right, that's a habit that is changing my life. Asking questions, seeking seeking clarity, and then responding afterward. But yeah, ask questions. Ask questions.
What is one prayer that every man should pray?
Lord, teach me discipline. I'm serious. That discipline, you're a bad man when you got when you have discipline. I am fully persuaded there is very little the devil can do with you when you're disciplined. When your flesh is under subjection, when your mind is sober, when you're sober-minded, when all that is flowing the correct way. What the song said, things I used to do, I don't do no more. Places I used to go, I don't go no more. But when you discipline, places I used to go, I don't even want to go no more. Things I used to do, I don't even want to do no more. But Lord, teach me discipline. Teach me discipline.
Yeah, that seems. I'm gonna to veer for just a second. I think that is just too good to not reiterate, because what I hear you saying again is this disciplined life is the open door for most everything, not only that we're trying to do, but what we're trying to resist. I'm thinking about David, right? Like the lack of discipline led to so many problems with Bathsheba. I'm thinking about Samson. That was one of the themes of MENcounter 2024, right? This lack of discipline. I think about Jesus, and one of the things that I love is when Jesus says, "The prince of this world comes to me, and he finds nothing in me." And I remember reading that, thinking, God, I want that testimony. Like he can't find anything in me. And every time Satan attempted to tempt Jesus, it didn't work. Not because Jesus didn't have real needs or real desires. He had discipline. He was hungry. Discipline. That human nature in him that could have wanted fame and power. Discipline, right? So this reality, if we are going to have the victorious life that God wants us to have, and then also some of the goals and things that we want to have. Because, like you said, people lose their whole life because of lack of discipline. One bad decision, one reckless post, one careless, moment. We can lose the whole kingdom, if you will. So this
Mhm.
idea of discipline is such a, not just for men, for women, for believers, for anybody who's trying to do anything great. We got to have discipline, and I don't think that we talk enough about that. The power of discipline, the spiritual gift of discipline,
Discipline. Yeah.
actually, fruit of the spirit,
Yeah.
self-control,
Thank
discipline.
you. Thank you.
Mhm. That is one of the fruit of the spirit. Okay, all right. What are you believing God will do at MENcounter this year?
Um, Not just speak from a deep spiritual place, but I'm really believing God to form some relationships
Yeah.
and some connections to where MENcounter is more of a launching pad
Mhm.
into connection and relationship with individuals who can do life together.
Mhm.
Uh, so I want us all to come together, and I want us to leave with some numbers in our phone that we did not have before we got there.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So we could go off on a whole nother discourse here too. I'm often interested in watching how men form relationships and how they have relationships. And you started off talking about fear and intimidation. What would you say to the person who knows that they need this type of relationship, know that they need this type of community, but are a little unsure about, making those connections, giving somebody their number, taking somebody's number? What would you say to them that they should really push past in being in MENcounter this year, or even coming, if they're on the fence about should I even go or be?
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You've tried it your way, you've tried it with your circle, you've tried it with your connections. It's time to try something new. That
Mm-hmm.
is what's going to be taking place at Convergence, at MENcounter in October. So I'm not used to reaching out. I'm not used to coming. I'm not used. Exactly. Look where you are. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want a different result, if you want to produce something different, step out, make the adjustment, and do what you can to meet us in Columbus, October 22nd through the 24th.
Mm-hmm. Try something new. I don't know if you can see the comments on Instagram Live, but somebody, they're echoing and they say try something new.
Try
So
something new.
again, that's what you're praying and believing that the Lord will do at MENcounter. I'm in agreement with that prayer. Is there anything else that's on your heart tonight that you just want to say or share, that you want the people to know?
I think that everybody that's tuned in should know the heart behind Pastor Denisha, the intent behind what it is she's trying to accomplish and do. And this is not just going to be a safe space. This is going to be a place of healing, of restoration, and empowerment. I want to just highlight again some of the speakers that she has coming. I think everybody but one brother. That's one individual that I do not know. But it's one of those things where if you connected with him, I'm sure he's cool people. So do everything you can to be there. We're going to cry. We're going to laugh. We're going to pray. And you're going to leave this place better than how you came.
Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this now. I said it on the first night, and I might have to make a little addendum. I'm coming out of retirement because once I started pastoring, I had to put my game playing down because my competitive nature and my game plan just wasn't, they was asking me to pray at Thanksgiving, and then I'm, screaming over the card game before the end of the night. So I had to put my game playing down. But on Thursday night when we get together and we have our battle of the sexes game night, I might have to come out of retirement to help the women cross the finish line of beating y'all, because we gonna destroy y'all on Thursday night at the game night.
I
And then,
want you to stay in the spirit, so I don't just stay in retirement because I
so yeah,
hate.
so I just will help moderate the games. But
Yeah,
if they get to losing,
I hate to have to kill you on Thursday and resurrect you on Friday.
don't worry. Man, it's gonna be a safe space for y'all to lose. There's gonna be safe
Wow.
spaces for y'all to
Wow.
cry on Friday and Saturday as we women continue to carry on our bragging rights throughout the rest of the weekend. But it's going to be such a powerful time in October. So, men and women, men, if you're watching and your wives, girlfriends, cousins, sisters, aunties, mamas weren't watching, tell them we got to be in Columbus. We got to go there. God's got something for us. If you don't have a connection, if you don't have community, this is the place where you can come and find that. I'm so excited that my brothers have always been willing to participate. From the moment I said, hey, I think I need to do this, they have been all in, and I can't wait for you guys to experience what God is going to pour out from the men who will be ministering this year at MENcounter. There will be an encounter. So again, if you've not already done it, go register. Register today. We want to make sure that of the limited seats that you get one. It's going to be a phenomenal time of just fellowship, fun, good food, worship, meeting each other. You know, I growing up, it was always fun to meet people who lived in different cities when we come to church events. So I'm excited, Lewis. You know, I love you deeply. I love what God is doing in your life, and I'm so grateful that you get to be a part of what we're doing. I can't think of anybody else. There's certain people that just got to be a part of whatever it is I'm doing, and you're one of those people. So the last word is yours tonight. Leave us with the final thought.
The final thought is, when you become disciplined, you become dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
As you prepare your heart, your mind for this evening, brother, you've spent so much time about what you can do, about what you can accomplish, about what you can go after. I want to encourage every brother, every man that's watching tonight. Say, Lord, I know what I can do. Show me the areas in my life where I need the discipline not to do, not to go, not to stay, not to entertain, because that could be the very, very simple thing that's keeping you from where you are to where it is you want to go. Develop that discipline. You'll be dangerous, you'll be trusted, and you will be ready to be unleashed. We'll talk more about it in October.
Awesome. Family, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you. We got She Slays Summer coming up. The ladies are up next. You're going to hear from the ladies who are going to be at the conference, but we can't wait to see you in October. We love you. Have a great evening.